Let's hear it for the dads and the moms. And I'm not just talking about the parents of children, but even the doggy dads and the cat moms, the crazy cat ladies, whatever. The ones that show that unconditional love for another being, whether it's human or otherwise. Because man, is it a journey. Many of you guys know I'm a dad at least twice, well, really a couple of times, more than that. But, I'm a kid dad, a boy dad, and I'm a doggy dad. Got two boys, 17, almost 18-year-old human being boy, and I got a 7-year-old Papillon, lovable boy. And I just dropped my dog off for some grooming, dear old Chance. He loves the after, but he does not like the before and the during. And it reminded me of the kind of, I won't say pain because it's not pain anymore, but that sadness and sorrow you feel when you drop your kid off, whether it's a kid or a dog kid, and you have to leave them behind and you can see them trembling and afraid. And even though they know you're probably going to be back, and, with my dog, I always tell them I'm going to be back, there's that panic in their eyes of, are you really coming back? And I want to go with you. And even almost chased me out the door. And it reminded me also of, the first time I dropped my kid off at daycare, kids camp, and preschool and kindergarten, and all those days when you see that same look in your child's eye that, they are wondering about the security of their attachment to you. And will you be back? And, they're going from what they're used to and familiar and comfortable with to something new that might be an exciting and new adventure. And eventually it almost always is, but they don't know that yet. And even though they've had a few experiences where they should know, muscle memory, mental memory, sometimes it takes a few times. And it reminded me of how much I used to ache when I had to leave my child on those first times and let him work through his own emotions and figure out that it's going to be okay. And there's a new experience. And at the end of the day, Daddy's going to always come back. Same thing with Chance, my dog. Every time I take him to get groomed or leave him with a pet sitter or whatever, he looks at me like, oh, I don't want to leave and I want to go with you, which he often does, but sometimes he can't. And, there's that little bit of worry about whether you'll be back and are they going to be okay? And then they have this great experience. You couldn't get them. And of course, they jump into your arms, whether it's a dog or a cat or a person, because they're so happy to, have that reattachment or reconnection. But man, it's not easy, right? And I think we sometimes forget as parents that there's a lot of work that goes into this relationship. And again, I'm not separating out, but human parents from the pet parents, because it's love. It hurts and it also heals. I want you to remember to give yourself a pat on the back, a big old hug for the love that you give and hopefully the love that you receive, because it should be reciprocal. Just taking care of another, be human, cat, dog, bird, or otherwise, all right? Keep on showing up. It'll pay off. I promise you.